When we're sitting in mess and we're feeling the time clock, it actually pushes us to deal with the mess in a way that's not authentic, in the way that is 100% rushed and forced and pressurized. And I will tell you that you will actually do yourself more damage than healing. Good morning. I just want to say welcome back to the Messier the Better podcast. It's probably not morning where you are. It's probably just heavy day. But when I get silence over here on this side of the camera, I usually am filming in the morning. So you're the first person I've talked to today. Feel privileged? I don't know, depending on what the content is. So today I wanted to talk about how time is both a really great concept to help in your healing. And I also wanted to talk about how time is horrible when you look at your healing. So let me get this straight. And, I'm pretty direct with you. So here's where I would caution you about the concept of time. Number one, we all have 24 hours in a day. We all have 365 days in a year, according to what calendar you follow. And you know what? We have a beginning, and unfortunately, we have an end. I know that sometimes when we have a beginning and there feels like pressure in the middle to make sure that you're always doing something with that time that you are, and I'm going to put in air quotes, given. I just want to step away from that kind of time clock. I want to step away from the timer that tells you every moment has to be lived to the fullest potential. And I just want to take a deep breath. When we're sitting in mess and we're feeling the time clock, it actually pushes us to deal with the mess in a way that's not authentic, in the way that is 100% rushed and forced and pressurized. And I will tell you that you will actually do yourself more damage than healing. Let me say that again. If you rush this process, you will actually re-injure, re-traumatize, and end up putting yourself in a deficit. And I don't want you to rush this. Healing is not to be rushed. If you had a physical injury, and the doctor said it may take 3 to 5 weeks to heal, and at the end of 5 weeks, you still weren't healed, the doctor would say to you, give it 3 more weeks. You're doing great. It's just taking a little slower than we anticipated. Guess what? You would take 3 more weeks. You wouldn't look at your body and say, what's your problem? Why aren't you healing faster? I think you need to get it together. Like, let's just run that marathon. You wouldn't say that. You would give 3 more weeks. And just because when we look at more mental health messes, and when I say mental health, it's actually really health, but we'll just for this sake put mental health on a separate platter, because we treat our mental health as something that can be fixed immediately, as something that can be done and over with. As soon as I say this needs to be fixed, 3 weeks later, it should be fixed. The reality is taking you from birth to this point to get here. So we're going to really give you time from this point forward to heal. Birth to this point to get here. It's a lot of years to get here. It's a lot of things that you have done that have both helped and hurt you along the way. And my guess is that there's a lot of patterns between birth and here that you have incorporated, experienced, and actually put into your life that probably haven't helped you. So we're going to look at that as we look at the mess. But then when we look at from here forward, this is how we heal. And we heal by challenging ourselves to do differently. They all say the definition of insanity is to do the same thing over and over again and expect different results. Let's do something different. Now let me caution you with time again. When we do something different, we're experimenting. We're throwing things at the wall and seeing what sticks. We're looking at different variables in your life and we're saying, what actually can stay? What can we use that's really great? What works for you? And on the flip side, what's not working for you? What things do you keep in your life that are actually draining you? What things do you keep in your life that you are actually fighting against and creating resistance in your own self? And by the way, resistance is the number one root to all anxiety, and it actually drains your energy. So if you find yourself exhausted, if you find yourself so tired you can't get up, no motivation whatsoever, there's something in you that's causing resistance against what you want and what is. No, it's not it is what it is. It just is. But what is doesn't have to always be. That's why we're looking at the mess. Because when you look at the mess, you have an option to get better. But if you don't look at the mess, if you sweep it away, put it under the rug, put it in a closet, you're never going to get better. Why? And again, going back to the definition of insanity, it's expecting different even though you do the same. If I put something in the microwave for 10 seconds, is it ever going to get warm? Probably not. But I keep putting something in the microwave for 10 seconds, expecting it to be warm. It's not. It needs more time. Time usually is not the problem. The expectation that comes with time is. So let me say that again. Time is not the problem. It's the expectation that we put on ourselves regarding time that is the problem. We live in a society in which so much is happening, so much is flying on us. I have 5 seconds to make an impression on Instagram. You have 30 seconds to microwave something so that it can be hot. You have 3 minutes to order your food through the drive-thru and pick it up. Everything is fast. But what if we slowed it down so that you are able to authentically really explore who you are and why the mess, number one, is, and what we can do about the mess moving forward. Time is actually the greatest gift we have. Yes, it might be fleeting. You may feel it's fleeting, but I'm going to have you step back from that pressure, and I want you to see it as a great gift. 24 hours in a day. So much opportunity and possibility for you to choose you. So much ability to actually dig in and do different and love yourself and love those around you and engage with your environment or change your environment. There's so much going on. And when you really dig in, this is when we get to do better. It's exciting. So what I want you to do today is I want you to look at how you feel time. When you start feeling time, you're going to start being conscious of how much pressure time puts on you. I know when I drive across town, I know. Yes, I do. I know. I want to get there the fastest. And so I'm constantly strategically choosing which light is going to turn green. Am I going to hit the turn here before this turns red? What can I do here? How can I get around? There seems like a lot of traffic. Is there another route? This is how my brain works. I'm not going to calm my brain down. It's not going to happen. But what I am going to do in other ways is create space for myself. So last night, my partner and I went for a walk, and we had a great time just looking at the views and watching the sunset with the dog, because we have to go with the dog. And then I sat and probably didn't eat the healthiest thing, and we watched a TV show that we love. And technically, I did nothing except relax. And you know what? I felt great. And this morning I felt rested. And I was really looking forward to starting my work week with a full tank of energy. So even though my voice doesn't sound like it, I promise I have energy. Haven't had a lick of coffee yet. However, when we look at time and we don't build in space for us to choose that freedom to be us, now all of a sudden we're constantly measuring the productivity and the accomplishments in our time. That, or we absolutely distance ourselves from time and we find ourselves on the couch for a long period of time, and then we wake up to our life and think, oh my gosh, where did yesterday go? If you needed yesterday, take yesterday, absolutely. But if you find yourself on the couch constantly fighting the energy to get up and do, then something else is going on. And I will encourage you always to seek therapy in that space. Find whatever you are seeking for that actually will motivate you, because this is not always what has to be. You are so capable and worthy of more, and I know you can do it. So here we go. Time. Take a look at the pressure that time is causing you in your daily function. Number one. Number two, I want you, if you find yourself really getting lost in your day with time, keep a little chart of actually what you're doing with your day. Sometimes it helps to look at the data. Don't change anything, but look at the data as is and start saying, oh, I didn't even realize that I did that for a half hour. That was awesome. I didn't really realize that I sat there for 20 minutes and not thinking about anything, but I felt better. Awesome. And then when you start saying to yourself, number three, I don't have time to heal. I don't have time to go to therapy. I don't have time to connect with that friend. I don't have time. I want you to collectively look at 3 or 4 days worth of this data. And I want you to start discovering how much time you actually do have. I don't have time to sleep. You do. I promise. Take a look at it and then start making small changes. That's the next step. So once we look at the data, once we discover where there's room for change, let's change it. Don't change it all. Please, please, please. That's the fastest way to put yourself in self-sabotage. I want you to change just one thing. Try one thing different. Maybe it's I'm going to wake up a little earlier every day, but every day I'm going to get up at the same time. See how that shifts your energy. Maybe it's I'm going to make sure I walk away from my desk for 20 minutes every day. And I'm going to get outside and feel the sunshine on my face and take deep breaths and really just connect not on my phone, but with the things around me. See what that does to shift you. When we start shifting your body into new rhythms and new routines, you're going to find that time is not a pressure. And then what you're going to find is actually you have more space to choose better. It's really that simple. I promise. Below in the show notes, I'm going to include a printable that you can add to your little thought process. Download it, use it, fill it in, see what comes up. What does time feel like? What does my time actually look like? Where are there small pockets of change? And what am I committing to trying to change in a small way that I can determine whether it's working for me or working against me? That is the goal. I'm so glad you're here. This is something I've had to do in my own personal life to make sure that I can manage what I do professionally and my personal life and all my relationships that I share in my personal life. And also, time for me. If you're encouraged by this, go ahead and leave a comment. If you love time, tell me why. If you hate time, tell me why. So encouraged to find out what's really going on your side of the screen. And again, thank you so much for being here with The Messier the Better. I am Rebecca Mueller, licensed marriage and family therapist. I appreciate you here. Like, subscribe. There'll be more coming your way. Hope you're well.